possible to survive 100 days in Palworld to capture all the pals, build the biggest slave factory, and enslave all the syndicate tower bosses? Yes, and no one can stop me, so sit back and watch. I decided to be the white little pump and they shipped me to this island to die alone. But instead, I was welcomed by a pink cat, a sheep, and a chicken. Bruh. On day 1, I literally walked back down the castle to find some chicks on the beach. But instead, I got jumped by these angry sheeps. To my surprise, I found a shorty on the other side of the castle, but she was like, why you half naked? Well, I was wondering that myself for the past 15 minutes. Anyhow, I found bread inside a chest, like who's cooking breads and putting them inside random boxes near the river. I also tried to take a bath, but these two pervert cats were watching me, so I chased them away. I stood there to take the view, but my ass was freezing, so I made a crafting table to get some tools and build a shelter. Oh look, a chicken! I needed wool for the bat, so I rolled a few sheeps. Let's not get into details now. I also tried to take down this cucumber flower, but I guess we will never know. Yes, I died, okay? On day 1, I was still half naked and cold, but for some miracle, I made a fire. I also found out about the spell box. This was the first step of enslaving all the creatures in this island. But first, I need to find some pants. I was high on life when I got jumped by these purple twigs, and they sent me straight to the afterlife. Great. Day 1, I was angry, cold, half naked, and frustrated. So I took my anger on this poor chicken and somehow I captured it. Wait, what did I do? I tried it one more time just to be sure, and now I had the sheep in my pocket. Wonderful. I was so hungry, so I called the chicken to lay them eggs for the brother to eat, but he just ignored me and walked off as if nothing happened. I also met one of those who can turn you $1 into $500 if you give them $1,000 first. He was keep nagging me, so I threw him off the cliff. Shh. I tried to build a bed, but it wasn't for me, it was for the pals. Wait, do slaves get to sleep at night, or should I remove the beds? I decided to keep it. You know, I finally used my architecture degree and built the base for the rest of the day. On day 2, I was still half naked, angry, and I didn't know how to build for shit. But somehow I was able to raise the walls by evening. And that freeloader chicken was sleeping hard as if he did all the work. That little shit couldn't even lay an egg for the brother to eat. Finally, I got pants on. I mean, I know you guys wanted more fan service, but hey, I'm freezing out here. Leave the brother alone. I worked the entire night to finish the base. Surprisingly, the pink cat was very helpful. They aren't as bad after all, except for that little shit chicken. On day 3, I captured a few more of these useless pals. I finally found an egg and went straight to the campfire to cook me some omelette. Let the brother eat. Jeez. Chopping wood was breaking my back, and I soon discovered the logging site. Wait, you telling me I can get infinite wood? Wait, I can put these useless pals to work and they will slave away their life chopping wood for me? That's perfect. But I couldn't get any of these stupid pals to do the job. I was looking for more useful pals when I came across your mother. Wait, why is she here? Come and get your mother, bruh. Anyhow, by night we did some agriculture and finally raised the roof. On day 4, I came across this fire pal and he was trying to burn me, so I captured him. Hey, he was asking for it and now he's on cooking duties. Also built a stone pit to get stones, and the pink cat was already onto it. He's very useful. I recommend him 100%. By day 4, I had more sheep in my pocket than the entire country of New Zealand, but they were taking too much circumference in my house and I had to do something about it. Oh, look at these freeloaders, so adorable. On day 5, I was on my way to the tower when I came across a ninja with a gun. He was acting way too ninja, so I ninja'd his ass into the shadow roll. I finally found the tower on the other side of the cliff. I was ready to jump and find my destiny, but instead I fell into the river. Great. I found another group of gun-hoes imprisoning pals, so I sent all of them to the shadow roll. I also came across your sister at night and she was fighting your girlfriend. I took that opportunity and captured your sister. Hey, what you gonna do about it, huh? But your girlfriend ran away. I swear I'll get her next time. Mark my words. I had men in black visiting me the next day. They were interrogating me about your sister and I told them, hey, finders keepers. But soon after, I got raided by your sister's friends, the bandwagon fangirls. So we bandwagoned them back to where they came from. And I finally finally captured the cucumber flower and now she was chopping wood for me. I also built a berry farm to get some food. And now my base was looking like a full-on factory. I'm so proud of this baby. I kept my promise and I finally got your girlfriend the next day. I was exploring your mother's shores when I came across the flying stingrays. I also crossed the sea to the other side and hey look, it's your mother again. On day 8, I built some hot springs because these pals are way too bougie. They can't go a second without complaining. And one of the pals got sick and she was out of work. So I replaced her immediately and spent the rest of the day improving my base. The next day, I finally put on some armor and now I look like a slave warrior. I mean, a pal keeper. I also tried to fight your mother but it didn't go well. Ouch. Finally, after 10 days of hard work and grinding, I was ready to visit the Syndicate Tower. I've heard that they sell Brazilian mangoes there and I really wanted to try some. Wait, it sure was a mango but not Brazilian but rather Japanese. I would still try some but first I had to take care of the seller and she was moving sus. Hey look, it's your mother's sister. Haha. Damn, it runs in the family, huh? I mean the gigantinism. Oh wait, I only have 6 minutes or else she will talk to the manager. And I don't want your mother's sister talking to the manager because I am the manager. So your mother's sister was successfully defeated and now she was in my pocket like the rest of them. But wait, this was my first boss fight. Let's go! The next day, I was standing on top of the Syndicate Tower disappointed because I couldn't try any of the Brazilian mangoes. Back in the factory, the slaves were hard at work trying to improve my base. On day 12, I met Auntie Big Pants. She was held hostage by the gun hose, so I set her free but she decided to be my advisor instead. Hey look! I found your brother cosplaying as Captain Grass. But I left him alone because I didn't want it to catch a case, okay? The next day, I built a ranch for your mother to graze and hope that she might drop some useful items. I also built a wheat plantation to get some fresh bread. On day 14, I found your Access tampon hanging around the field. As a good citizen, I had to put it in the garbage bin. So that's exactly what I did. What a useless tampon that was, eh? Hey look, I found your dad in the red light district of the snowy stairs. That geezer pretended that he didn't see me, even though I waved at him. But I was adamant to shake his hands and he knocked me out cold for no reason. And he told me that I never saw him. Okay, now I'm angry. That old geezer pressed my wrong buttons and now I'm gonna do things he would never imagine. So I bitch slapped him till he called me by my first name, Engine. And now you old geezer is 6 inches underground. The next day, I came across your Grampy Pops. He was grooming little alpacas, so I had no choice but to put him down. Your grandfather was so big that it took me 24 hours to defeat him. That was a size joke for ya. The next day, I came across the weird lady in your town, Catrice the Witch. Or you can call her Fake Tales Make Money because I'm too lazy to get an actual job. She had more stones than breadcrumbs under her bed. I think she was high on stones too. What did the Pope do when he saw a witch in the 16th century? Meet my pal Foxspark. He's very good with burning things. And we don't need to go into details, but let's just say the town is safe now. The next day, I gathered food for winter because your mother eats a lot. I was in the middle of finishing the roof when I found out that one of the slaves tried to escape. So I put his ass back to work and spent the rest of the day building the watchtower. On day 20, I found out that the cucumber flower was too tall and she couldn't get inside to get food. So I raised the ceiling. See, I'm not bad after all. I care for my pals, I mean slaves. The next day, I finally got the schematics for the weapon crafting bench, but it will be a while before I can shoot someone. I accidentally caught on fire and I tried to cool myself down in the hot spring, but it made it worse. On day 21, I went on a journey to find your mother and I only found her skeletons. Rest in peace. The same night, I found another gun-ho base and they were keeping Sui hostage. So I sent these gun-hos back to their friends in the Shadow Realm. Hey look, I found your adopted sister hanging out with her friends. They were selling milk, so I adopted her. I also found a cotton sheep and the walking asparagus. On day 23, we were attacked by the gun-hos because of their friends being stuck in the Shadow Realm. I intercepted their routes and bowed them down with my arrows, but they were more interested in my slaves. Somehow we were able to get rid of them but still couldn't defeat your mother. The next day, I prepared myself to fight your mother no matter what. The battle was so severe that it took over 24 hours to complete. I fought her throughout the day and the night, and by the next morning, I finally railed your mother to the ground. Wait, I actually won, so my day is not ruined thanks to your mother. Rest in peace. After defeating your mother, she was was much more nicer and tame. And now she was hanging around my base, but I didn't have a big enough Pokeball to capture her, as she was blocking the view anyway, so we had to put her down again. But don't worry, this is not the end of your mother. We will hear more of her in the future. My base was growing fast and now I had 12 pals working for me, but I had to keep up with their numbers by creating more beds and food. On day 27, I traveled to the Rocky Mountains of your mother's edges and found another boss underground. I finally confronted Bushi, you creepy uncle. He said he didn't have any charges because it's not that bad. Yeah, right. Now I know why your creepy uncle was able to get away from the law. Because he's a shinobi ninja samurai. He was able to instant transmission quicker than his dad could pull out. He wanted to chop my head off, but Fox Spark saved the day. You have met Fox Spark, right? He's very good with burning things, so he barbecued your uncle until he could no longer instant transmission, and we finally handed him to the law. On day 28, I was climbing your mother's mountains when I came across these Cinnamots. I wanted a few of them to pollinate my base, but they decided to gang up on me. Bruh, I cried my way out of there. I came across Captain Grass again and finally put him down. I don't know what I did, but everyone was trying to kill me, including these cultists. It was so bad that even these ankle-biting poopers were on my ass. But somehow I got myself out of there. Jeez, they really wanted to pluck all the hairs off my body. In the base, your mother was grazing as usual, but I was still waiting for her to drop some items. The next day, I did a bit of agriculture and had a talk with Auntie Big Pants. I also ate a few of them jam and bread. You know how it is, you boys living the life you deserve. On day 30, I made a breeding farm in hopes of breeding your mother in the future. But for now, I wanted a few inbred pals. Breed pals legally, of course. I tried to convince the cucumber flower to be the first victim of crossbreeding. The pioneer of new age breeding. But she wasn't having any of it. On day 31, I was making my way through your mother's bushes when I came across your other sister. Let's just say she has seen better days, and oh, I'm not talking about her being kidnapped. Just look at her. The next day, I came across your grandma Cherry. She was never the same after I put down your Grampy Pops. But somehow she already knew and she wanted to kill me. Now I was in a life and death situation with your Gigantosaurus looking grandma. She was too old to do anything else, so she was spitting at me like bruh. But finally, I was able to put down your hellbilly ass looking grandma. On day 33, I was flying through your mother's crusty skin when I came across the failed actress in the family, Luna. She was doing taco commercials and she thinks she's an actress? Not gonna lie though, the shorty was a real baddie with those fire blasts. I couldn't just let my pal Fox Spark have all the fun, so I let loose your ex-girlfriend, and let's just say it was a sight to behold. But suddenly she came at me for no reason. Okay, now I'm pissed. With my triple arrow gun and you ex's fireballs, we were able to finally end Luna's acting career for good. And she rejected me. Great. So I took my anger on this poor Crimis and those two poor pinglets and these poor Fox Sparks, and of course I couldn't forget about your ex-girlfriend, and that cat had it coming. Let's be honest. On day 34, I was making my way through your dad's bald head when I came across the melting candle in the family. Damn, all the snacks really did him dirty, but he was blissfully unaware. He was so weak that I didn't even have to do anything because Fox Spark melted him with just one blast. Oh look, I found your dusty mother in the Rocky Hills again. She was really pissed after your dad's cheating scandals. I flew away because your mother had gone insane and I didn't want it to die. We are in day 35 by the way, and I went to the Seabreeze Church to pay my offerings to the spirit of Anubis. What's so special about him anyways? On day 36, I decided to build a more comfy beds for Auntie Big Pants and the Pink Cat. Let's be honest, they deserve it. In the ranch, your mother finally dropped some items, so she's not as bad after all. But my dreams of breeding your mother was still just a dream, at least for now. Oh, I forgot about your adopted sister Mazurina. She was way too happy running around around like a wild goose. I wanted her to graze in the field and drop me some milk, but instead she jumped in the hot spring. Great. The next day, your mother followed me all the way to my base, and she was still going crazy because of your dad. I had no choice but to put her down. Rest in peace, big mother. Your sister and your ex-girlfriend were fighting again, and this time your ex came on top. Let's go. On day 38, I made Usain Bolt in the hills of Seabreeze, and all I wanted was an autograph because I'm a fan. But he electrocuted me because I touched his sweet spot while taking the picture, and now he's mad. He was incredibly electric and very dangerous. I had to keep my distance and let Foxpark get all the beating. But it wasn't working, so I sent your ex-girlfriend on him. Wait, your mother was also watching from the distance. Why is she here? Come and get your mother, bruh. Anyways, back to the fight. He could also lock target on me and then electrocute me? Bruh, he's one crafty mother nature. The battle was so severe that it shook the ground and all the pals were getting angry, including these pink cats, and they were coming at me for what the f. But they got caught in the fire. Rest in peace. I didn't think I would win the battle after all the commotion. Even these low-life gunhos were coming at me. But your ex-girlfriend saved the day. Let's go. I knew she was my favorite. I mean, if you don't mind, of course. On day 39, I came across the followers of Captain Grass, and they were massacring Auntie Big Pants. Wait, what is that? They killed their own cult leader? No, not Captain Grass. Oh, never mind. I guess he was just playing dead, and now he wants me dead for real. But I was able to save the day. I mean, myself. On day 40, I was flying through your head when I came across the domesticated Charizard. He was a goofball with the way he was running. Jeez, let him be, Foxpark. My pal is standing on business. What the? He seemed harmless, but he's not. And the battle of domesticated Charizard and Foxpark concluded with him being blasted off. On day 41, we got raided by the gunhos again, but this time I was ready to kick their butt. I bowed him down as much as I could, and then my pals took care of the rest. I also found the power of Lace Restrictive Building mod, and I took that opportunity to rebuild my factory for the entire day. The next day, I was still hard at work to build the biggest slave factory in the Pal world. I dismantled anything that came my way. Trees, rocks, the breeding farm, berry plantation, you get it, everything. But I could only build within the radius of the Pal box. Everything was off the ground, including your adopted sister Mozirina. Even the hot springs had to go, and by the end of the day, we made good progress. Because these pals are useless. God damn it. The next day, I dismantled the building, and now it was an open plan residential site. Factory, slave factory. After the base was done, I went to explore the world to find a suitable site for ore mining, to get metal and make guns and shoot the pals. Pa, pa, pa. On day 44, I dropped a few of these useless pals to mine ore, and they did everything but mining. I even gave them food, beds, and hot springs, but they were useless as ever. They even tried to escape the base. Now I was pissed. First, I had to raise walls to keep the slaves inside. Second, I had to find more suitable pals for mining. I even brought your grandma Cherry to look after these freeloaders. After finishing the walls, I went to catch a few monkeys because I heard that they are hard workers, and trust me, I really need some hard workers. The next day, I don't know how, but the gunhos knew the mining base location and they decided to raid it. But I was prepared. As soon as they reached the gate, I let your ex-girlfriend loose, and let's just say she was crazy. Good thing she's on our side. I even collected the ammos for future use. I had enough metal to craft my first rifle. It wasn't much, but it could shoot. Now it was time to travel to the Twilight Dunes to capture pals with level 2 mining. I've heard that it's very hot in there, but I didn't knew that it was land of the Egyptian gods. So on day 46, I crafted heat-resistant plate armor and went on a journey to find your mother. The pals. Why did I say your mother? Anyways, I traveled through the lands of Transformers and came across Patelia, or the Lady Garden. She was made up of leaves, but she was very elegant and sophisticated. She was moving with such grace that I wanted to wife her up. But Foxpark, can you stop burning my wife? When she came close to me, my heart was beating like a V12 engine. I've never seen a more beautiful creature before until she tried to poison me. Okay, that's enough. Now you're dead. Foxpark, barbecue. And now she was rolling on the ground. The next day, I came across a traveler from the land of Twilight Dunes. He was held hostage by the cultists. I set him free and he told me where to find these mining pals. Now we were one step closer to our goal. The next evening, we came across your mother again in the jungles of Solar Flyers. I think she heard me, and now she wouldn't leave me alone? I had to fight your mother 3 times up until morning. Jeez, man, your mother's crazy. On day 49, I was flying through your mother's swamp when I came across the marshmallow cat. What the heck? He seemed possessed by God knows who. Man, he took a jump and the whole world shook. Even your grandma was rolling in her grave. Yo, this cat is crazy. He's on fire, but he doesn't care. Instead, he's spitting on me like a redneck. What the? Yo, those eyes doesn't seem normal. He's smiling through a fire tornado. I gotta end this quickly before it possesses me. By God's grace, I was able to capture the fat cat. This goes to show how big your mother is, because I still can't capture her. Hey look, it's your mother again. She's bathing in the Pacific Ocean, but she didn't drown because of how big she is. I think she heard that too, and now I'm battling your mother again. But I was able to put her down by evening. I'm not making this up, but I was flying throughout the night when I came across your mother again, and she was sleeping. The leaves on the ground couldn't perform photosynthesis because your mother was blocking the sun. Okay, enough of your mother. The next day, I came across the merchant. I'm pretty sure I threw him off the cliff, but somehow he survived. Good thing he doesn't remember. I guess he hit his head pretty hard. I bought a map to the Twilight Dunes, and now we were very close to the destination. On day 52, I came across your gym bro. I knew he could lift weights, but can he actually deadlift this aura I have? Yo, my pal is not messing around. Before I could even touch the ground, he sent them flying. And here I was pretending like I'm in the battle too. What is up with this guy? He got no sense of direction. He was getting bounced left and right by a tiny pal. This proves that he was nutty, but I couldn't ignore those electric shocks. He also tried to flash me, so I had enough and captured him. Oh, never mind. He was way too big. Finally, some competition for your mother. The same night, I came across this unhinged merchant and got me some painkillers because of your mother. My journey of reaching the Twilight Dunes was still on the way, and I finally crossed the Green Canyon and found the biggest pool on day 53. There were some interesting pals like these ratchet bunnies and this Batman-looking bird. The audacity of this ratchet bunny, she thought she could take me? What do you think this is, huh? But of course, the highlight of the show was your whale-sized twin sisters. They could give your mother a run for her money density-wise. Oh geez, there were actually 3 of them, and it was a struggle to fit everyone in my Pokeball, so I just captured one. I infiltrated another gunho base, but they were getting smarter with each encounters. Now they were using sophisticated equipments like flamethrowers and machine guns. They even had the Big Daddy to help them out, but I gave them one-way ticket to nap time and saved Thwack. The next day, I was flying through your sister's bamboo bushes when I finally reached the land of Twilight Dunes. Now, why am I here? I hear you cry. Well, I need ore mining pals, level 2 to be precise. But no one told me about these stupid ticking bomb-looking ducks. I also came across your girlfriend's boyfriend and captured him for later use. What is up with these exploding ducks? They want all the smoke, but I haven't even started the fire. On day 55, I saw these exploding ducks beefing with the gun hose. Dude, they just don't care. I came down to settle the beef, but your girlfriend's boyfriend was interfering, so I sent them back to the mining base. I also captured a few of your sisters near the shore, and of course, they were whales. I mean, it just runs in your family, no? Size-wise. No, like literally, they were whales. Finally, I got all the mining pals I needed, and the next day, I was on my way back to the factory when I saw this devil tree. I ate the devil fruit to get the gum stretch, but instead I got the block stomach ache. I also had a battle with the bee warriors. They were trying to protect their queen, but you know how it is. If your boy fancies a shorty, he will take the shorty no matter what. But your girlfriend killed the queen bee. I might have to throw her off the cliff for this, you know? And your gym bro's buddy saw me out in the open and he tried to attack me. Bruh, when can I have my peace? He was much more sporadic than your gym bro, and he was crazy, but not as crazy as your boy. I flew over your mother's bathwater and reached the mining base by day 57, and I put your whale of a sister and your girlfriend's boyfriend to work to mine ore for me. The same night, your sister's boyfriend attacked my base to get his girlfriend back, but he got dismantled, demolished, and disassembled very quickly. You don't just walk into the biggest slave factory in Palworld and not expect to get backlash. Of course, she was sleeping after a long day of of doing nothing. The next day in the mining base, everything was going smooth and I even built them more beds and food. Everyone was working hard, especially your girlfriend's boyfriend. What the? So it was all just for the show? He actually tried to escape the base, but not on my watch. He will face judgment. On day 59, I was on my way to find some electric pals for the production lines, and I came across your mother. We haven't seen much of her in a while, so it was good to catch up. I was riding your girlfriend through your mother's fire bushes when I came across your mother again. She was very pissed for some reason. Oh, she had a beef with your girlfriend, I suppose. And now they were fighting. And once in a lifetime, I was finally able to capture your mother. This will go down in history as the most legendary run with your mother. I finally had a big enough Pokeball to accommodate her. By day 60, I had enough metal to finally craft weapons, but first I need to deal with these cultists. They were on edge ever since I defeated Captain Grass, and now they wanted revenge. So they decided to raid my base, but they faced the same judgment as your sister's boyfriend. And by night, we finally had electricity. The next day, I found Loop under this waterfall. He was hiding from something. I wanted to capture him because apparently he was the best ground pal to ride. Pause. So I let your ex-girlfriend do the dirty job, and I got it when I saw an opening. The legends about Loop was true. He was as fast as a bike and could jump as high as a bouncy ball. The next day, I was still thinking about my sweet honey queen bee, and I wanted to find her again. And I did. She was also hiding in a cave apparently. Oh yeah, cause last time I nearly killed her. I mean, your ex-girlfriend nearly killed her. So now I wanted to make things right. And she was angry, which is understandable. But why the heck are these bee workers exploding themselves on me? Jeez man, they burned my eyebrows and everything. Like, come on. There was something in the air and I could taste it because she was being unhinged. Great, I knew something was up. On day 63, I came back and finally captured my sweet honey queen bee. Now it was time for the real battle. Facing Mother Cherry in the mine shafts of the ocean lotion. You might think I'm a coward, but I couldn't take chances after what happened with Queen Bee. That's why I kept my distance and sent Fire Pal to fight the Water Pal. Finally, I was using my remaining brain cells, but it wasn't enough because Mother Cherry was level 31. Oh, 30, I don't know man, she was crazy strong. After a long battle, I was finally able to capture Mother Cherry. Oh, never mind, let's try this again. After a long battle, I was finally able to capture Mother Cherry. On day 64, I came across the final boss of electricity in the realm of Thunder Dragon, Relaxaurus Lux. He was so relaxed that he didn't even bother getting up, or at least turning his head towards me. But Fenglu pissed him off. As you can see, I'm still using my remaining neurons because I sent a water pal to battle the electric pal. It was the battle of getting drowned or getting electrocuted, but no one was backing off. During the battle, he finally glazed his eyes on me and tried to get close, but I was able to dodge his flashes. He was twice as big and twice as dumb as it comes. Okay, the purple flames nearly got me, but I'm fast as boy. At the end, I was able to capture him. He might be in run to take the first spot for being the most plumptuous pal ever. The next day, I came across the most harmless dragon ever in the Icewind Island. Poor guy was minding his own business when my pal threw the biggest fireball at him and he got rattled. And he followed with a black hole fireball. Jeez, I think we should spare this one. I called back my pal right before his final attack because I wanted to keep the sport dragon away from all this. So I decided to capture him. On day 66, I saw you wail off a sister acting like a boss battle. So I put her back to her place. Is she dumb or just adopted? I also came across these cotton sheeps and decided to take one for the team. On day 67, I was exploring your mother's shores when I came across the fugitive, the one who escaped the prison, you creepy uncle Bushy. Last time I checked, he was defeated and handed to the law, but somehow he got away. I think it has something to do with him being a ninja. These guys are very sneaky. They could steal your underwear without you knowing, so watch out. But Fenglu wasn't playing. He pierced him with the ice arrow. He was much weaker than I remembered him to be. What happened? I think it has something to do with him dropping soap in the shower during his prison days. But this time I captured him instead of calling the cops because he would just escape again and I know how to keep him inside. On day 68, I found your dad again in the red light district with all his mistresses. I guess he didn't learn his lesson the first time even after your mother left him. And Fenglu just blew him away with one shot. Great. After endless days of traveling, I finally came back to my base on day 69.
Nice.
Everything was as smooth as ever. Yo, but what is up with these cultists? They came back to attack my base again, but we were able to kick their butt, like real good. I give all the new pals job at the base. The innocent dragon, the blue whale sister, and even the creepy marshmallow cat. And they were happy to help because I was building the biggest slave factory in Palworld. On day 70, I found the chunkiest bird ever and captured him for dinner. I traveled back to the Twilight Dunes to finally face the ancient Egyptian god, Anubis. He was a level 47 boss, and my strongest boss battle was only level 31, so this should be an interesting battle. He was the strongest and the most fierce boss in the whole of Palworld. Everyone knew about this guy. They even built churches on his name, and I wanted to see for myself what's so special about this guy. He has such an aura that even my enemies joined the battle to fight him. But as expected, he was way too much even for the queen bee. Ruby was holding his own until he didn't, so I thought Fangloop was the way, but no. Anubis was moving even after being frozen. How is that possible? This guy ain't playing, bruh. He didn't even acknowledge my presence because of how low my power level was. He nearly took out Fangloop with one shot. Ruby had the best shot at defeating him, but I was worried cause this might be the end for everyone. It was a long dragging battle that took a lot of planning, improvisation, patience, and heart, but even that wasn't enough. We fought the entire day until sunset and I still lost. On day 71, I came back to end the legend of Anubis once and for all. And this time, I knew how to keep my pal safe before his big attacks. But this created another problem. Now he was attacking me instead. And I can't fight Anubis myself, like come on. So I decided to run and just kept running away. No matter what I did, his eyes were glazed on me. But finally, Fangloop got his attention. Oh, never mind. And he was taunting me with them hand gestures, bruh. Fangloop literally pushed him away and threw the biggest water ball, but it didn't even faze him. Your girlfriend's boyfriend popped out of nowhere and attacked me. What the heck, man? Where's the loyalty? Yo, how the flip is he dodging my bullets? Psych, you thought you could just kick my pal? Huh? Oh, jeez, I dodged the biggest fireball. Yo, Fangloop is getting good at this. Okay, that's enough. Now it was time to end this. Me and Fangloop teamed up and finally captured the most powerful pal in the game. Now I remember why I captured Anubis in the first place. It's because I wanted the fastest flying pal, Jadrigan, but I wasn't strong enough to capture it. So on day 72, I crossbred the Batman looking bird with Anubis. Now why would I do that? I hear you cry. Well, I thought if the strongest pal had a baby with the Batman looking bird, I might get the fastest flying pal. Bruh, this is one chunky ass looking bird. But don't let the bounce fool you, he's fast as fuck, boy. On day 73, I came across the Guardian of the Water, Germantide. He had these telepathic electric shocks that was burning my ass hair. He was floating on water and I didn't think that he would come to the dry land, and he did. The queen bee tried to take a hold of him, but he threw the biggest water ball at me and I nearly drowned. We were standing on business until he took us out with his fire breath. Bruh, I didn't need water pals could shoot fire, but the battle of the water bending snake and the stinging bee concluded with my queen bee getting injured. And the stubborn ass looking snake wouldn't just stay inside my Pokeball. I had to try 4 times and I nearly got electrocuted on my last try, but I was able to capture him. Jeez, I need a vacation after this. The same evening, I built big beds for the big boys in the base because they couldn't fit in these tiny beds. The next day, I put Relaxoris on timeout because he was being lazy, and I also made a few changes in the factory to accommodate them big boys. I gave them more food and bigger space to hang out and sleep. Winter was coming soon, so I also built this big electric heater to keep everyone warm. And I put your creepy uncle in the breeding farm to breed with this water snake, and let's see what kind of monstrosity they will produce. On day 75, I was flying over you mother's tears when I came across the land of Transformers, and I found this elegant looking water pal and took one for myself. I also found your girlfriend, but in gold. I could make a lot of money selling this. Anyways, I was expecting to find more unique pals, or at least a boss battle. But all I found was your mother's bones. On day 76, I was still flying over your mother's tears when I saw these gunhos harassing them ratchet bunnies. So I took out everyone because I don't like them. This was my furthest journey ever. I crossed over the canyons, rivers, jungles, this beautiful lake, and these mountains. The next day, I came across the fat cat in the family who ran away last summer because you put him on diet. He was living life with all his mistresses, but my pal decided to burn everyone. I mean, he's new to all this, so cut him some slack, would ya? And by evening, I finally reached the shores of Mount Obsidian, one of the hottest places in Palworld. There was something unhinged about this place, like these walking goats on 2 feet, and your sisters were sunbathing in the evening. Like, what's going on? The next day, I came down to get something from the village for my journey, and this big chunkish bird decided to fight the Batman looking birds, and he burned them all. What in the... Are you crazy? I knew that these crossbred pals were losing the head, but this is just insane. I also came across these glowing lions at night and captured one for myself. On day 79, I was still exploring Mount Obsidian when I came across these gunhos with flamethrowers. They tried but failed. What the fuck is this abomination? A tiny lizard looking dinosaur? I traveled from Mount Obsidian all the way to the volcano valley. There were lava lakes everywhere, and oh look, it's your mother's bones. I also saw Jetrigan in person for the first time, but I wasn't even close to challenging him to a fight. The next day, I came across another Transformers island and found the protector of Leaf. He was very weak. I also tried to pick a fight with a goat on 2 legs, and let's just say he was a formidable opponent, but I captured him. And for the rest of the day, I was flying over your mother's tears to get to the big tree in the island, but the game wouldn't let me cross the invisible wall, so I turned back. The next day, I finally came across the land of snorting white powder. I noticed these detective ice hats looking at me everywhere I went, and oh my god, I found your mother again, frozen edition, but she was sleeping. No matter what I did, she won't budge, so I just left her alone. On day 82, I left the land of snorting white powder and traveled to the crusty desert of your mother's ashes. As soon as I touched ground, everything was trying to kill me, and they were all level 50 and above. What have they been eating to get this juiced up? This might be the birthplace of Anubis, you know? I had no business being there, so I left as soon as I could. On the way, I came across your drowned mother's skeletons. Rest in peace, big mother. I also saw your gym bro getting kidnapped by these cultists, so I set him free. And after a long journey, I finally came back to my base. Everything was looking good. I even made these 2 water snakes to have a baby. Let's see what they will cook with this one. And by night, I built another production line to get better armor. The next day, the baby was ready to hatch, and it was Alphadrin. What a useless pal. Anyways, I finally crafted new armor and shield, and now I was ready to take on the world. I traveled to your brother's boy cave and found another chunky bird. He was only level 28, but since he was flying, it was hard to fight him. And oh, did I mention that he's electrically powered? But Fellers was much bigger and stronger, and he cooked that poor bird into a dinner roast. The same evening, I flew to the highest point of the tallest peak of the longest mountain to observe the world and make my next move. On day 84, I came across your magician auntie. She was so basic and forgettable that I didn't even knew she existed. And with Anubis by my side, it was a piece of cake in the park. Wait, that's how you say it, right? I traveled the entire night to go back to the land of snorting festival. Oh, I mean the land of freezing Iceland cold freeze balls. I quickly put on my anti-snorting powder armor before my balls freeze. I came across your cousins doing lines out in the open. I just wanted to talk, but they attacked me, so I captured them. Oh, never mind. They were too big. On day 85, I came across your mother again, frozen edition. What a beauty she is. If you don't mind, of course. Me and Queen Bee decided to team up and captured your mother. This time, I'm gonna put your mother to work. Anyways, I was flying over the snorting powder's peak when I came across Miss Frozen Wings. She was as beautiful as ever, but with beauty comes crazy. Dude, she definitely snorted something before this battle because she was going bonkers. She was ice skating the entire battle, and it was hard for Anubis to keep up. So I called for the fire pal to deal with this cocaine snorting infestation. confrontation. Ruby was doing good, but we had to chase her the entire battle. And oh god, I just realized she's a level 50 boss. So I just left her alone and ran away. In life, there are some battles that you don't need to fight, but that doesn't mean you should give up. So I built the base right next to her territory, and my ass was solid as ice, so I built a campfire to melt the ice off my pants. The next day, I put your lazy mother to work, and she was finally doing something for once in her life. A big bed for a big girl. I mean, most of the pals in my pocket were huge. They won't fit in these regular beds. In order to survive in this cold environment and not snort the white powder, I had to build the base using stones. I crafted this giant fire heater to keep everyone from freezing their balls. I also put the wheat and berry plantation to grow them food, and I also gave them a lot of milk. Now why do I have so much milk? I hear you cry. Well, your sister Mozirina is very good with milking milk. I needed fire pals to keep the heater going, but also electric pals to turn on the heater in the first place. By night, everyone had warm and comfy beds, food, heater, and everything. The next day, everyone was hard at work to make the Antarctic base a true factory. I came back down to fight Miss Frozen Wings again, but during the battle, she glitched and disappeared. And after a moment, I got the news that I won the battle. What just happened? She's crazy. And back in my old base, I mean a factory, the walking goat and this innocent dragon had a baby, and it was the frozen Batman bird. Oh good, he was providing coolness in the summer heat to keep everyone refreshed. And back in the Antarctic powdered land, I found your mother's frozen skeletons. Rest in peace. On day 87, I came across your Grampy Pops again. He changed his looks and everything, and now he was taking refuge in this frozen cave. I nearly didn't recognize him. He was even stronger than before. I called Valoris to deal with him. They were both formidable opponents, fire versus water. One was getting burned and the other one was getting drowned. But I ended the battle quickly before it gets out of hand. Oh look, it's your mother again. Say hi. The next day, I came back to check on my gal, the Frozen Wing. No wait, I'll call her Stallion from now on. She was still mad because I won the battle on technicality, so I just left her alone for now. I was riding through your dad's patchy beard when I came across your other cousin bathing in the ocean. I threw a water ball at her and she got mad, and now she wanted to kill me. So I had no choice but to capture her, you know. The same night, I came across the autistic child in the family and captured him. For the last battle, I came across the emo girl in the family. She was only level 38, but she was extremely smart. Even my fire pal was struggling against her. And during the battle, she was throwing jabs at me for no reason. So I had enough and captured her. On day 89, I finally came across one of the 5 legendary pal trainers in the Syndicate Tower of Front-Bound Mountains, Lily the Flower Girl. We were in this underground battle arena and I didn't know what to expect. Oh jeez, I only had 10 minutes and her life bar was over 69,000. I called the Nubus and he kicked her right in the back and she got mad and went ham. I thought Blaze Howl was the way. He burned her, but she was coming at me for no reason. Man, her tornadoes and water ball trackers were really annoying and she nearly poisoned me. My pal threw the biggest fireball at her, but she wasn't even phased. And she pierced me with her branches. I called Valoris to match her energy and he sent fire tornadoes back at her. She had close and long distance attacks, and the only way I could win this battle was to avoid her attacks, but you know how that goes, right? And before I could even capture her, Fangloop ended the battle with his ice arrow piercing her heart. Rest in peace. On day 90, I confronted Detective Ice Hat about her keep tracking me for some reason, but she wasn't just gonna talk, was she? Which was expected, and I came prepared, so Valoris burned her ass. The only attack she had was these purple flames, and we were able to capture her in no time. The next day, I came across this ancient ice cat. I thought she was cute and all, but Jesus Christ, she's extremely dangerous. What that mouth do? Well, big purple flames. Jesus Christ, I just let her go. I also came across your ice auntie. She was an elegant lady and I sure wanted to know more about her. So we set a date later in the day. I came back to check on my beautiful stallion, but she was still mad. Jeez man, what did I do? What she is so mad for? On day 91, I came across Lily's frozen sister, Don't Let It Go, or Ice Lily. She was minding her own business when I rudely interrupted her, and now she was mad. And my pal wasn't helping either. She was a level 49 boss, but not as strong as her green sister. Never mind, she just threw the biggest black hole ball at me and she could breathe ice. Good thing I wasn't standing in front of that. She tried to come at me for no reason, but Valeris burned her ass. And then she got stuck in the corner, so I had to capture her, you know. Now it was time to travel to the land of crusty desert of your mother's ashes to challenge the Ashy Pals. So on day 92, I came across the chunky scorpion of the desert. That thing was menacing but pretty useless. I tried to make things fair by calling Anubis to join the battle, but it got even worse. Anubis was throwing him left and right. Jeez, I couldn't let this humiliation ritual go any longer, so I just captured him. The next day, I came across the Suzuki flying plastic dragon. He was one weird looking creature. It was the battle of hot versus hot, fire versus fire, wings versus wings. He was very sharp, but the whole battle he was only attacking me. So I called my ground pal and he threw the biggest fireball at him without hesitation. I even called Lily and Fenglu to sway the odds, but since he was flying, it was hard to attack him. But soon Valeris was able to put him down and I captured him. And who the f is this little shit? The ashy version of Captain Grass? Man, get your ass out of here. The same night, I came across the desert castle of the Old. I didn't expect to get in, but they welcomed me with open arms. It was a beautiful place, and after a long night of rest, on day 94 I came across the ashy version of Cucumber Flower. Damn, she was a level 47 boss. Now that's a glow up I can get behind. Oh geez, what in the holy fire breath is that? She was looking at Valeris but shooting electric balls at me. She had a mix of fire and electric powers. She was good, but me and Valeris are on another level, and soon we captured her. The next day, it was time to finally meet the Dark and Holy Knight of Legends. If I could get these pals on my side, I would win any battle. As expected, they were extremely strong and polar opposite. I wanted to keep them separate during the battle, but they knew what's up. I sent Valeris to keep one of them distracted while I shoot the other one, but it didn't work because the Dark one had these purple flames and extremely aggressive, while the Holy one had water and electric powers, but he was calm. I called German Tide to deal with them and he nearly drowned the black one, but the Holy Knight had these electric water arrows that was really dangerous. It was time to call Valeris again and he did some damage, but it was still a long way to go. Damn, he really got me there. Nothing was working, so I decided to go with brute force. My shotgun and Anubis's kicks were the only thing that were piercing through their armors. That synchronized attack was mesmerizing. Good thing I wasn't on the other side of it. I was finally able to separate the Dark one by dodging his attacks, and I called different pals from different angles to attack him. It was hard to keep him still, but me and Lily were finally able to put the Dark one down. Oh shit, I forgot to capture him. As for the Holy Knight, me and the Water Snake decided to dip him in the water and electrocute his ass. It took endless tries, but I was finally able to capture him. On day 96, after conquering the desert land, I traveled to the Obsidian Mount to finally face Jetrigan and see if I can capture him. I flew over the mountains and reached the lava lake. I also found your mother's bones chilling on the ground. I came across the Blazomet in the cave, but he had no chance against the Holy Knight and the battle ended very quickly. I traveled further down the Obsidian Mount and I came across Astagen. It was a flying Chungus dragon with armor. Very intimidating but extremely weak because the Holy Knight had over 9,000 life bar and we sent him to the moon. Before fighting Jetrigan, I decided to face Stallion one last time. She really wanted to fight me for some reason. I won't go through the battle again, but let's just say I was disappointed because I couldn't capture her. On day 97, I came back to the Obsidian Mount and finally challenged Jetrigan. I don't know what I was expecting, but he sure wasn't as big of a challenge as those knights. He was extremely fast and agile and his aim was very good. I got hit every single time. He was a purple flaming mechanical dragon with 10 different attacks. It was hard to stay still and shoot him because I was keep dodging his attacks. He blasted Anubis with one fireball. Okay, he is really strong. I had no choice but to call the Holy Knight. They were closely matched, but Jetrigan was stronger and the Holy Knight had more life bar. Jetrigan was able to fight us both at the same time, unlike most other boss fights, and these fire attacks were really bad. But still, it took less time to defeat Jetrigan. I was expecting to capture him, but no matter what I did, he wouldn't get inside the Pokeball. What an interesting battle. I didn't think it would get any worse, but oh boy. The next day, I came across the Obsidian Syndicate Tower to face off against Axel and Arsec. He was almost twice as strong as Lily, and that pal could aim and shoot electric bullets. Not only that, it could also turn the air into electricity and burn everyone. He even had the same attacks as Jetrigan. I knew Valeris was in trouble, but goddamn, this electric bullet shots, whatever, I nearly died. And for a second, the screen changed to different colors useless because of all the attacks. So I had to call the Holy Knight, and he dismantled him quickly and shot him down with his electric attacks. My assault rifle was working too. I don't know how, but I was able to knock him out with my Pokeball. On day 99, I traveled to the Desert Syndicate Tower to meet with the leader of Desert Army, Mr. Marquez. And what in the holy Phalaris, he had the same pal as me. This should be interesting. He was almost as strong as Axel and Arsec, but there was something different with this Phalaris. He could also do electric attacks. What the how come my bird doesn't do that? The Holy Knight did a good job of keeping him occupied while I did my attacks from behind. I just had to stay away from this big flashy electric monstrosity. Damn, the knight ain't playing around. I don't know if it's cause he's a bird, but our attacks were doing more damage on him compared to Axel's. But it's also cause I knew how Phalaris would react in a battlefield. Finally, I shot the big bird down. See, it wasn't too bad, or at least that's what I thought. On day 100, I traveled to the final Syndicate Tower in the iceberg Mount of Snorting White Powder to face off against the final boss of Palworld, Victor and his pal Shadowbeak. I knew he was strong, but I didn't know he was this strong. His pal had over 200k life bar. Why the heck is he this enormously powerful? Shadowbeak had the powers of all the other bosses combined. I knew life ain't fair, but this is just hell. He was the first one to dodge Holy Knight's ice arrow attack by flying up, and he could breathe different kinds of flames. I thought Phalaris might stand a chance, but he got cooked. 7 minutes in with almost full life bar? I thought this wouldn't be possible. I nearly got caught in the crossfire, but I hope the knight is okay. With each stage, his attacks would change to a whole new one. For a second, even the Holy Knight was struggling to stay alive. 4 minutes in with almost 90k life bar? This is impossible. But my drive, persistence, tactics, attacks, patience, and blood, sweat, and tears, I mean everything, to get this guy to give up. These electric exploding balls nearly took out the Holy Knight, so I called him back to regenerate. I can't believe I had to rely on the stupid water snake to help me defeat him. But Germantide was surprisingly effective. With almost 50 seconds left, Germantide the water snake electrocuted him to death. What an intense battle this was. Afterwards, I jumped on Phalaris and flew over Palworld, reminiscing about when I was first washed up on this island. I couldn't even keep myself alive for the first few days, and now I have defeated the strongest pal in Palworld. I also built two of the biggest factories to enslave all the pals. I have finally earned the title of ruling over this world as a king, the Pal King.